A lovely good afternoon to you, our beautiful and wonderful viewers. Welcome everyone to the Real Talk Show, and I'm your host, Faith Malambo. And today we are diving into a topic that is crucial for the future, our continent's adolescent health, which is what we are known for. And we'll be taking a look back at the groundbreaking regional adolescent Indaba 2024. So now, making this more interesting, today we're literally just looking back at the regional adolescent Indaba 2024, and with this, I have my guests, and we're just going to be, having a review and personal experiences on how the regional adolescent Indaba 2024 was. Now, here is it, you guys. When you see a groundbreaking of 2024. That means the 2025 RAHi, which is the regional adolescent in Dara, is on its way. Are you excited? Now, joining me for this particular show, I have the one and only encyclopedia, man of the top match. Hilliard, how are you doing today?
It's good to have you, Faith. How are you? How is Zambia?
I'm
It's good to see you. Yeah, yeah, the man himself from Zimbabwe. How are you guys?
well, because if you know him, you will know. I don't know what he carries. I think a bag of words would be so little. I wish I had the best way to talk about. And of course, you guys, the one and only who makes the RAHi, or rather our shows, very unique. You know, as we say, a youth platform, we cater for everyone and everybody. So not forgetting my very special sign language interpreter, Shadrach. You guys, I didn't know this guy was still around. And you know the thing where you are crushing on someone and they're just hiding. But anyway, hi Shadrach.
Hi, Kev. How are you?
I'm doing good. He's the only man who can speak with his mouth and with his hands, spreading the gospel of some message. Hilliard will speak with his hands, but there's no meaning to his hands. They're just moving. So thank you, you guys. So, like today, we are literally going to be talking about, a refresher, or rather, a review of your experience for the RAHi 2024. So, of course, I have you and my guest who has just dropped. I think I would just get to introduce her when she gets back on the show. That being said, that means Hilliard and Shaje, you are going to be my guest for today. Equally, I'm going to be part of this as well. I'll speak where I can, but we're just literally looking at the RAHi 2024. Hilliard from Zimbabwe, I think you should have a lot of gist for us, because I think you are our point in Zimbabwe to let us know what the impact of this RAHi 2024 did in Zimbabwe. But before I get there, a little introduction and just a glimpse of your experience for the RAHi 2024.
All right. Hi, everyone. And like said before, my name is Iliad Hel Pakufuma, and I'm a Zimbabwean, and I'm also a Liverpool supporter. We started the season good, both PL and also in the. So I know this is not related to what you're talking about, but as a crowd, you just have to know we're on top. But my work is I'm a sexual offender, and I happen to have so strong bias in research is young people's health and wealth. And that being said, my RAHi more than what I expected at a personal level. And I think away or my biggest takeaway is the power we as young people in designing solutions to the problem we are facing as young people. You know, when I was sitting in those sessions, program, but the people who are capable to cope. And I think I was particularly moved hearing young people from across the region openly lived reality, whether it was active youth rights, it was around mental health, it was around drug use, it was around teenage pregnancies. One thing that I took from the whole adolescent health indaba is that that affects young people in Zimbabwe. People have the same challenges that counter other countries are facing. If you have to look at South Africa, we represent Malawi, we're representative from Namibia, and we realize that the challenges we are facing are almost the same, but maybe what's different is just how this issue, their perspective, from a perspective, from the access perspective, and trust a kind of honesty in reaffirming that we must design the system meant for the young people, by young people. It's not something to look away, but it's something to give it, anticipate, looking for. So it was really blown with just the interaction and the brains, the mastermind behind this whole coming young people from different countries. I can go on and on, but I really have a about the experience on RAHi.
Okay, that is very, very great, Elliot. I'm glad that you had your biggest takeaway on that. Of course, having a comparison with also what is going on in the country. Like we always say, the RAHi, the reason why it's called a regional adolescent indaba, it covers all the countries along the SADC. So we had different people from different parts of the country, which is South Africa, Namibia, Mozambique. It was a packed event, and of course, even this year, of course, we don't know when it is, but guys, the RAHi is on its way. And just to make it known, if you have watching this show and you were part of the RAHi, or you are a person that wants to attend the RAHi this year, please feel free to contribute and let us know what was your highlight for the RAHi 2024. What are you expecting this time around? What were you expecting that didn't go right? And what would you want to be done a whole different from your previous experience? So guys, let's interact with your comments and contribution down below. Make sure that you're part of this discussion. And finally, I have the queen of the home, Winnie Kawana. Welcome back. I was being booed by Eliad and Shadrach. How are you? And welcome to the show.
I'm fine. Thank you so much. I'm back now.
Yeah, wow,
very low.
I'm glad to have you back. So my first question really was me just, of course, we're talking about a callback, or rather a reflection back to the RAHi 2024. And before we dive into the other questions and probably your personal experience, I would just want to get your biggest takeaway or a moment that truly impacted you personally or professionally as an individual who was part of the RAHi 2024.
I'm still okay.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay. Oh, okay. No, thank you so much for the good time. I'm so happy to see you again. I'm very much excited. Yes. It was a very huge experience for us. That was my first trip to come to Lusaka, to come for something like that. I so loved the place. The people were so very welcoming. Not to talk about the food. Oof, I was like in heaven. Food was nice. The environment. You people, you are so good. I don't think there's anybody who complains from our team. Yeah. We never had so much challenges when it comes to accommodation, food. No, we're very well taken care of. So when my time of coming there, it really opened our eyes on how to interconnect with other countries. And as you know, adolescent healthy is a challenge within our communities, within our countries. So to go out there and see what other countries are doing into their own places. It was really a good experience we had. So there are, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello? Oh, okay. Yeah, so with my fellow youth who were there, I've seen some of them from the time they came from there, they'd gone into the schools to share what they have learned. So mostly in our country, some of the things, topics we learned that side, we don't really experience them in Namibia. It's like they are tackled out. But the most challenging issues we have here is abuse of alcohol and these teenage pregnancies. So it's really a big problem in Namibia. Yeah, so far everything was okay. We tried to engage some schools. We went to the orphanage homes. We went to the disability homes because they need also to know there are those who are still who are sexual active. So we need to teach them also
That's
how to take care of themselves. So that's a bit of what we did last year when we came back. To
okay.
add more,
I
because
love that.
yeah, to add more, we have a social club at our institution which deals with students. But normally we reach out also to the communities to work with them. So we tackle on the health reproductive systems, the mental issues, just a bit on that so that they can also feel not left out from the whole region. That's a little I can share with you.
I love that. And surprisingly, you literally tackled the question that I was about to ask you. Now in here, I think I'm between two very difficult human beings, but I
Yeah.
will try. You literally answered what I wanted to ask you. I wanted to find out how what you learned from the regional adolescent in Dava, what you learned with your team, how were you able to execute the lessons or what you learned to the people back home? And I think you
Yes.
just mentioned that you got active in schools, you introduced, discussions and everything that you are doing. And I think was that to say that the regional adolescent in Daba was of great importance to you, your team, and as well as gave a great impact to your community back home? Okay, she's down. Back to you, Hilliard. You are I think I saw you very active in so many things. You showed us your skill of the camera. Some point I met you in your corners and you're just like, oh my God, this can't be done like this. It can be done like this. I'm just, Hilliard, calm down. Now, having to talk about that, I know that above all, in as much as that was happening, I feel it just brings Africa and us together. I think there was a sense of knowing this is not just Zambia for a host, but I think it made me realize to say we were a young people that worked as a team, regardless of where you are coming from. And that was really amazing because I saw that was here, it was there, making it show that we are actually one and there was no separation in that. But aside from that, with the lessons learned, Hilliard, in your way of perfection, being a perfectionist, forget about what didn't go right in your way with your camera or whatever. Let's get back to the discussions that we had. This is with the breakout sessions. This is with the question and answer. You actually sat on one of the panels and were addressing different issues, ranging from the increase of HIV and AIDS in adolescents, coming back to mental health and drug abuse. These things that we learned in all those different sessions that we had. What is it that you and the Zimbabwe team carried with you and that you have literally worked towards resolving? It might not be the same challenges as Zambia, but I do believe that some of these issues are common in our countries. What have you done? What did you learn and implement in your country? And how has it been? Because I mean, if we learn and we get back to our country and we are not changing or putting an impact, I don't think there's need to come back for the RAHi. Don't you think so? But for you to be here on this show today and say, I want to come back this year, I'm part of the team, meaning what you learned and what you did back home was of great impact that you want to learn more. And build the change. So what are those things that you put back home, and how has been the feedback? We just want to hear from you.
All right. So I think immediately after the RAHi ended, we had a meeting with the organizers, and I was just saying, guys, 3 days is not enough for this kind of conversations, because we had a lot of sessions that no matter which area you focus on, you locate yourself from how things were. But one of the panels, I know I sat in one the panelists with from different countries, and I was representing the young in terms of how policy should be shaped. But the session spoke to me mostly on mental health. You know, in Zimbabwe, the mental health resonated. That session, it highlighted the hidden crisis among people, which is to do with depression, to do with substance as a coping mechanism to mental health. And let's look at it from the perspective that we have a young person not know their sexual reproduction and know where to get the access that they need. So what are they going to do? They're going to engage in very unhealthy sexual relations or sexual experiences. And that will lead to, number one, immediate cause STI. And they don't also know where to get treatment, how to get, or maybe the cost of treatment, all that. That's just mental. And then we move on to unwanted pregnancy. And then that led to even more dropping out of school, lack of concentration if they're school going, maybe family denial if now have babies that are not wanted. On mental health really resonates with being one of the areas that organizations in Southern Africa, especially with adolescents and well-being, take very seriously. And of course, like you highlighted, I happen to be part of the panel where the MPs, I think, from different countries, and some of the takeaways in that session, how are our different countries tailored to suit the needs of young people? Because you realize that the age of consent in Zimbabwe for young people to be consented at sexual health rights is 18, but we are saying young people are in sexual activity. So if they are not allowed access up to their 18, yet they are already aged, how best can that be altered and how can that be changed? More, we are saying we then allow them at an earlier age to then engage in these activities. Whether we like it or not, the consequences. We're reading stories every day. An 11-year-old baby child is delivered a baby. There are stories where a 16-year-old man committed suicide. These things and not where on the how to shelter such situation. So I think the whole situation, the whole conference, if I may to say, really with what's happening on the ground, what organizations doing, what are the society doing, what are parents doing, what are teachers doing, and we even went on to what are the policies, where do we need to change the policy. You realize that some of the patients they're outdated. The policies are outdated. They need to be, even in Zimbabwe, like I'm saying, it's what that we have been pushing towards to say the age of consent from 16 to 18. And we are saying it should even go down. So people engage. Yeah, there are our eyes and the reality of what's happening on us, what's happening at workplace, what's happening in communities, and how best can we come up with solid structure that So yeah, moving forward, I think concept of RAHi should continue looking at. I'm very happy. I know we're going to talk about when the session is about to end on what our expectations for the upcoming round. I think let's leave it here and we can talk about.
Okay, thank you, Elliot. You just did another, I think, 20, 30 pages there. And also, whilst I'm still with, whilst I'm still with Winnie, I think try to stabilize your network. I see Shadrach is struggling to get you on his space because I think your line is kind of breaking on that. Before I miss my queen of the day, I have a question for you, ma'am, before you disappear on me again. Now, building, you just told us how impactful the RAHi was for you and how you have moved a step in the country to just deliver what you got and probably building on the knowledge that was given. Now, still in that space, based on your experience, which is the previous RAHi, what is the most exciting thing that you would want to see and contribute to at the RAHi 2025? If you were to sit and look at how the RAHi works, that was your first time, meaning you had the best experience. Now, in your personal view or opinion, what is it that you would love to see differently? And what is it that you would add on to see that this year's RAHi is way more exciting than last year's one? Of course, except for the food, we make sure that we bring you the shingwishings of a different one. This time around, we'll give you the traditional food. But apart from that, what is it that you would be so excited and looking forward to this year?
Okay, the first point, we want to be included on the program. We want to be included because I'm trying to bring together the
Okay. I think you're out of my
want
reach
to prepare
now.
something as well. And this I've discussed with George or the program, our experiences also. More, we need to learn more to reconnect with the other peers again, to be responsible there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, though it's breaking, but I can now.
But to reconnect again with peers and
Okay, maybe you would have to try to connect to your internet again.
pardon me?
You can proceed. I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can't.
You maybe have to try to reconnect.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we need
All right. So maybe
we need we want to make
okay. You try to reconnect. So I did hear her saying they feel the need to be included in the program because they want to do a presentation of what is going on or what they have planned. So I think that is a good idea. Ellen, what do you think?
It is.
That is a good one.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Now, yes, I can hear you. Maybe let me get now to Shadrach Chasa. I hope I can have her back because I need to ask her these questions. I can't do being with Iliad the whole show, guys. I can't. Please, Network Namibia, do something. Well, guys, like always, please, if you have a comment, an experience that you want to share on this show for your RAHi 2024 experience, feel free to drop down below your comment, your contribution. Just tell us what you want to see. Tell us. Tiuzeni. How do you say in Shona? Tell us.
Say,
Eh?
it's almost
That same one. You've heard that one that Elliot has said. Please tell us and also let us know what you want to say, because the RAHi is not a RAHi without me, without you. You and I make up the RAHi. So we work together on this. Shadrach. Of course, this is the regional Adolescent Indaba with different people from different spaces of the world. And of course, like you always know, you guys, we are a team that is so large or huge on inclusivity. We want to take all the people on board, like regardless, you know. So we also have our special people, our differently able people who are attending the RAHi, and it was just a different experience because in that space, you wouldn't feel the difference or segregated. It's just one people, and it was amazing. So now for you, Shadrach, you are our sign language interpreter. How was it for you as a sign language interpreter? What are the biggest challenges in terms of ensuring that critical health information is accessible to the deaf and hard of hearing community at large at the regional event like they were high? I hope you won't do sign language for me. Use your mouth. Okay, better.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for having this privilege to speak. Usually, I just use sign
Shadrach,
language whenever
Shadrach,
I'm
Shadrach, sorry.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
about to do bad math. Before the queen leaves my studio, can I please just tell you to hold on to that great thought as she responds, because I can see her before Namibia decides to take her away from me. Ma'am, please respond to my question. People were eager to hear what your contribution was on my previous question.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me do it so quick. What we are looking forward at the RAHi 2025, I mean, is the chance to share our experience from Namibia and also to learn from others from other countries. And also, we have similar youth-driven initiatives, so we are looking forward to work on those initiatives. And we also to reconnect with other peers from different countries and learn more. When we come back, we are coming back with the fresh ideas from what we have learned. So we are looking forward to that and also to be included on the program for this year.
Okay, beautiful. I love that. Okay, so I was right. Shadrach, go ahead with your answer.
Thank you.
At least we got something from her before she went.
Hearing.
And the iron.
Looking forward to hearing from you. So bye.
Bye, Winnie. I love you. And thank you for every effort. I heard you, and
I. Bye.
Shadrach, you can take up with your answer now. You are such a gentleman. I don't think Ella would ever do that for me. But it's okay. Please.
I always say like ladies, so I was trying to be gentle so that I can allow a lady to speak, then I come. Yeah, so that I can have more time to speak. Yeah, so I want to say is to recommend the effort and the work you guys are doing to make sure that every program, every event you are having, you are making sure that the event is inclusive and you are engaging people with disabilities. Now, last year, RAHi, it was so nice because I was able to meet with different people, also seeing people with disability participating. Also, during one session, I was able to see a deaf also having a chance to participate and give some information about health, how they can access health services. Now, the challenges some they do have is how to access the health information, also how to access health services. So what it is it is important when you are trying to invite or engaging people with hearing hard of hearing or with hearing impairment to ask their preference. Some they like to know, like, okay, when sign language interpreter is signing, I would like a sign language interpreter to be signing exactly English, which means word by word. I will need to be interpreting word by word. Other deaf would like to be signing using sign language grammar, which is I need to get information, then I just change the word, but I don't need to change the meaning so that they are able to get the full information. So it's important in that manner to ask the deaf people, like, which interpreter do you want us to get for you? So then they will give the advice. Okay, would like this interpreter to interpret for us. Also, would like to participate. Even when you see during the session, during last year, RAHi, people with hearing impairment and people with hard of hearing were able to participate. I recommend that.
Well, thank you so much on that. But then you were just using, you've seen the problem is when you remove people from their profession or from their area of strength and you ask them to do something, they forget what they're. Why were you not doing something? You were just talking now this time. So meaning me, I can't hear again. Let me give you the last time. Do you hope to see, what do you hope to see in terms of improvement when it comes to accessibility and inclusion at this year's RAHi? Of course, you've talked about the last year's experience and what you thought could be done. So what more do you think should be put in place? A person who's a Shadrach to say, you as a sign language interpreter, what do you want us to look at this year's RAHi? Please don't forget your hands as you are using your mouth, Shadrach.
Okay, thank you. So this year, RAHi, I would like to see people with disabilities from different provinces. For example, last year, RAHi, many people with disability were from Lusaka. So if you see, we have 10 provinces here in Zambia. So if we can try same time to invite people with disabilities from maybe Koba Belt, Central Province, Lusaka, Eastern Province, it will be better and see the improvement. Also, another thing is the center of where the program is taking place. You will see last year, RAHi, where it was held, it was friendly with people with disabilities because even people with visual impairment were able to navigate the geography of the venue where we were having the RAHi. So it's important also to consider that. So what my expectation for this year, RAHi, is to see different people with disabilities coming from different provinces to participate. Same time to give them also some session to discuss and share the information or how they can access health services.
Okay, thank you so much, Shadrach. Now you're a person who sets the instructions. Elliot, I'm back to you now. You have told us of what you have been up to, but I just want you to give a narration, or rather, guys, and he just disappears just when I need him. Anyway, I can do this, you guys. You know me, Shadrach. So yes, guys, we're still talking and looking back at the RAHi 2024. To be honest with you, it was an amazing experience. Well, let me ask myself a question, or rather share my experience. Now, here's the thing. For the most part of it, I think the highlight was
about my also experience from RAHi, because that was not the experience. I was just saying on as my profession interpreter. Now about me, I don't engaging me to be to answer how was my experience during the RAHi.
What was your experience, Shadrick?
Okay, I'll be
Share with
gentleman.
me
You go
the
first. I'll be gentleman.
experience.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I would try. So, to be honest with you guys, if you want to be at a place that caters for both, if you can try to be if you want to be in a place that rejuvenates or rather educates, a place that excites, a place that makes you realize that there is more to life than what you can see, I think the RAHi is the best place to be. Why do I say so? The lessons, guys, are breathtaking. You just get to hear people sharing their presentations. We had different presentations from different ministries. We had life-changing experiences, of course, and he's back. So for me, the highlight of it were the discussions, just to know how the young people have gotten to find comfort in abuse and drift away from the aspect of dealing with issues as they come, the aspect of how the little ones are being abused sexually, the disheartening numbers of increased rates of HIV virus among the young people and the adolescents. It is so disheartening. The unbelievable increase of numbers of young pregnancies. And you just feel like, why is this happening? I think for me, every talk on those topics made me feel, what if it was me at that age or my young sister? So that space really had an eye opener to say, we, the young people, have got a huge responsibility to create the change and call for a difference in the manner at which we want to see the change happen. So for me, it was a whole experience. It was emotions here, there, all over the place. But ultimately, it was so encouraging to see young people come together, commit, and stay dedicated to see and to say, I'm going to be the change that I want to see. And that for me was the most beautiful experience, honestly. Eliad, before you dropped, I don't know what is happening. Zimbabwe wants to take you away from me as if that lady is not enough to take you away. Anyway, I was asking a question, Elias. I was asking a question. All the lessons learned and taken from the RAHi, what has Zimbabwe done about what they learned? And how is that going so far as we get to wind up this show?
Okay, so I think firstly, my apologies for leaving me. Conversations were too hot, so my phone was complaining of the heat, so it needed to.
You don't play when you're with me here. Mm-hmm. Yes, please tell us about Zimbabwe and what they are doing.
All right. So when we came back from RAHi, we were all pregnant information. I know what you're thinking. No, no, no. Guys, your thoughts. Ah, you know, we I think I cannot speak for almost everyone who attended RAHi, but I can speak maybe for myself and a few colleagues that I came with, that I was part of. So yeah, if you remember, RAHi happened, and then immediately after in Zimbabwe, all numbers that were happening, and we took it upon ourselves to give the feedback of the companies that are happening at RAHi. Number two, I think one of the things that we realized, station that I talk about here on, that was looking at budgeting of distance health systems in Africa, where we're saying we as young people, sometimes we're taking the back stage when the policies are being made and when the budget, when the national budget is being made. But then we need to voice out and attend the public hearing where budgets are being, deliberated on, and we speak on issues that we feel like these issues are pertinent to us. They need a lot of government support, even much support. So what we did immediately after RAHi, within the Zimbabwean calendar of government programs, we have what is called the National Budget Consultation, where the Parliamentary Committee portfolio visited is to say what do you need to be prioritized in the national budget. And because we have seen that what we are facing as Zimbabwean adolescents, young people, it's not something that we're just facing on our own. That goes in the region, and it's solved in one area of the region. They're able to even curb it in other within the regions as well. So we prioritized the issue to deal with the budget for adolescent growth. We also talked about issues to do with budget for information dissemination, and we also talked about budgeting for in just the education in general for our adults. And I was like, I can confidently say, from the time that I left RAHi, I was able to get this parliamentary committee, the parliament. I was able to go even on live radio stations, on TV stations, on TV broadcasting, and we're trying to highlight the depth of such issues that not just us in Zimbabwe who are facing this, but also the region has got the same challenge, and it's us as young people who are now taking the step. You know what? This we take upon ourselves. And even if you look at the graphic dividend of young within the region, you realize young people constitute almost 70% of the total population of the southern region, African continent. And what it simply means, one decision that's made by a government without a young people involved is going to directly involve or impact the young person. So I think what we take up was, let's continue not just high, but let's bring this conversation from the levels, levels to our councillors, our members of parliament, our church leaders, our pastors. Everyone has to be involved. I think it's just a matter of collective to say, this is the issue. If we do not act upon this, we're going to lose many lives. If we act upon this, we're going to have many graduates in that are going to graduate, but there'll be graves. We always talk about alive. If you're in college today and you die, by the time your course finishes, if it was a 4-year program, your degree will still come, you'd have died. So we always preach the gospel to say, even for young people, you need to graduate alive. And for us, in order to graduate alive, we take information such as the information we're getting from RAHi. We got to realize that, this issue is affecting Malawi. Malawian tackled it in a different way. This issue is affecting also people in South Africa, but South African government, South African people, have tried to curb it in this way. And we get to learn from the information that we're sharing as counterparts, young people. As young people who are trying to be part of a solution for something sustainable, something that even our children and the next generations are going to look and say, this was a system devised and is still. So RAHi is not just a concept where we just get to come and see. Yes, we know we get to meet our soulmates. It's another benefit of RAHi for those that want to come. You never know. If you attend, you might end up, don't give me that look face. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I choose to keep quiet, lest the words I say will be used against me in the court of law.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Hilliard, for that sharing insight on how this RAHi 2024 impacted you and the team and the community at large. And the message here is, guys, the RAHi, in as much as we have entertainment, we have educational topics, motivational topics, health-related issues, the most aspect of it is we come to learn and go to our countries to show that we learned and we are youths for change and we want to see the change. That is it. Also, one thing that I wanted to talk about when I was given a chance by Shadrach, the gentleman, was we did also have very great topics like entrepreneurship, guys. Talked about self-development. Now, this was something that we did. I don't know in your section, Ilya, but we had every after RAHi in the evening, we'll sit around and just in a circle and share ideas and just have a conversation. Do you remember that? You don't, because you went to sleep. I remember. Sorry for exposing you. But yes, the different agendas. But you know, we just sit around. Yes, we had those sit around, like after they were high, back to their rooms, and then you just sit around and share ideas. And you'll see business ideas coming up and just young people sitting together and grabbing these opportunities of having to share ideas. I do remember one thing that sticks to my mind so clearly is the aspect of non-employment in the countries. I don't know about you, Idiot, but somebody did mention to say employment for the young people is hard, even in Zim dollar. And it's the same thing even here in Zambia, you know. And so I remember having this discussion, and we said it's high time, even as young people, we get to create ourselves in a space of being self-motivated. You can't graduate and expect to get employment by the government. How many people are graduating each year? So it's okay to live by a skill as you are waiting, rather than just sitting unemployed and waiting for a recruitment opportunity. So in that space, we shared great ideas. And this is just me encouraging you who sitting and said, oh my God, I'm not breaking. It's depressing for a young person to stay without employment. I can assure you. I have been there before. I know how it feels like. And most of these things like drug abuse, I think they come as a space of, you know, when you're stressed about something, stress leads to depression. Depression leads to mental leads to you now doing all those things for, you know, drugs. I don't know if Eliad has tried them, but I need to confirm somehow. But yes, it's a whole packed event, yes, and you wouldn't want to miss this event for anything else in this world, because it'll just, you get to meet young people who are doing so well, and you never know. Talking to Hilliard, of course, he talks too much, but I look at him and I see this really young man who's so driven and so passionate about what he does. And for me, that is enough motivation, I need to say. I don't think half of the things that this guy does is related to his career path. It's probably different. But when you're in that space, you realize to say, okay, so you get yourself connections, you get yourself inspirations, you get yourself motivated. So guys, make a date at this year's RAHi, and trust me, we haven't even talked about half of what the RAHi is about, but due to time, I might have to let Iliad go. We haven't even started. This is just like, hi, this is my name, Hilliard the helper. This is just part of the RAHi. We haven't even got any. So for you to have a full experience, guys, make a date. I don't know when they're announcing this. I feel like our directors get to announce this like a surprise pregnancy to a husband to say, I'm pregnant. Like, they just don't want to tell us. It's coming in bits. We don't even know. But trust me, when it comes, it's something you don't want to miss. It's something you don't want to miss. Hilliard, before we get to go on the big picture, and what one was my question that I have for you, Hilliard? Let me see. What would be that one wish for the future of adolescents' health in Africa? What one wish do you have for the adolescent health in Africa? Because the major aspect of everything that we do, aside from the other things that we consider putting, the health part is the most bigger chunk of it. I think it takes 65%. What would be your view for the future of the adolescent health in Africa? Don't look at that trying to recover your encyclopedia. Do it small. We are running out of time. Yes, please.
Sure. I don't know where to start from, but we are talking of the Agenda 2063. I don't know how many young people who are viewing this are aware of the blueprint called the Agenda 2063, where we are saying the Africa we want. What is the ideal Africa we want? And I'm taking consideration of future that out there where in Africa with healthy young people who can harness all the resources, all the God-given minerals that we have, who can be the future leaders in a healthy form. Trust me, we have a lot of young people who are inspired, intelligent, who can do a lot. You can only do that if you're healthy. So I envision in Africa where everyone in Africa is healthy. If we have got an opportunity to visit other countries, I've been in and out of Africa quite a number of times, and you realize that Africa, we have got like so much organic food, we have got so much good temperature and climate, we have healthy and all this. If we are not wise enough, young people, all this will be enjoyed by one. I don't know if I'm trying to bring a good picture to someone. People would be pilots, would to take near big farmers, can only achieve that healthy. This is the way we are saying prioritize your health. This can even the little we're not just for the sexually related disease. Even when you have a headache, you seek for medical attention, something that's important to you, to be better for you and for the next person. So I envision in Africa where, as much as about all this, the Africa that's got universal health coverage, where we have security health for everyone, health, and can work. And I'm envisioning the kind of the future of Africa that rests on its young people. That if we neglect the adolescents' health, we are going to neglect the continent's future. But if we invest, listen and co-create with the young people, we can have potential to come up with solutions that can work for generations. And these are the kind of conversations that RAHi is going to be. And I remember immediately after RAHi, and I had an opportunity to talk to the organizers of RAHi and say, you know what, we need to bring an aspect of research where young people can carry out research and able to do kind of researches. These researches could spark conversations. These researches lead to intervention that are evidence-based, not just not just guessing things. Researches that these are the kind of situations young people have, and these are the kind of solutions that for us. So if you have to ask me really what's my vision of Africa is bigger than you, and I'm going to make sure that we attain that vision through participation in RAHi.
At this point, bigger than I think, Ilya, let me leave it in your brain before you bring it to me, because my time might not accommodate that bigness that you're talking about. Well, before we finally conclude, Ilya, in 30 seconds, what is the in the most heartfelt words that you can ever speak to someone, what is your message from today's could I say a flashback or review? What is your message to somebody who has ever been to the RAHi? What is your message to somebody that has been and wants to come back? What is the message that you have for the viewers today? In 30 seconds, though, don't start looking at your computer. Your last message that
come on, you're eating on my 30 seconds.
Sorry, sir.
Right. In a few words, the solution one lies within us, and as young people, we do have the power. If we take advantage of the structures that we do have the power to transform our solution into something, our ideas into real. And don't go further. Find your way to. I don't know how you're going to do it. If you're going to bookmark this page, the TYP page, if you're going to be always following through, just make sure that you find yourself in RAHi. Trust me, you'll find me there, and I'll be ready to interact with a lot of you. I'm ready to meet my soulmates. We'll talk
about I have a thing with strong and men, Brazilians. Anyway, with that being said, guys, from me, no one is giving me a timer. I have like 5 minutes before I wind up the show. Let me be the host. So you guys, my message to the viewers, forget about me being dramatic. This is me showing you to say the youth platform, we have the moments of being serious, but we also have the friendly space where we just want to laugh and learn. Sometimes laughing and learning makes even things more applicable than being too serious and afraid. And I believe in that, trust me. We are a very free individual space, and we love it when we're just happy with each other, and getting to learn makes it very easy because no one is, having to punch you. Remember, for my last words, health is wealth. You can't be wealthy without being healthy. So those two work together. That being said, take care of your health. And of course, remember, if you are not infected, then you are affected. So whatever the case is, the RAHi is the best way you find lessons to encourage, educate, inspire, and give you the hope to move on. Okay, thank you so much for having joined us on today's episode of the groundbreaking of the RAHi 2024. Looking forward to the RAHi 2025. And of course, guys, not forgetting our very, very faithful and diligent sponsors of the RAHi from the inception of it. We are grateful and want to appreciate you for having to believe in TYP, in taking up the path of coming up with the regional adolescent endeavor. We appreciate our sponsors for this particular event, and to all our sponsors who have been in the forefront of helping the projects that TYP has. And most importantly, not forgetting the heads of this particular group, Sibu, Malambo, as well as Robinson. These guys are amazing leaders, and they made the most high as well. Without them, it wouldn't have been possible. We appreciate you guys. And of course, guys, that brings me to the end of the show. A huge thank you to you, my incredible guests that I had on the show. In as much as your countries were so jealous that they took you away from me, but I'm grateful that they reached this far. And this is to Chadwick Chansa, who was my sign language interpreter. He's very amazing. He's always, the best I can find, and we get back. And of course, Elliot, Helper, Kufumana. I don't know how you pronounce your name, but just leave me alone. At least you can hear this, the K, the U, the P, and the Fumana at the end. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being my fighting buddy and for just sharing your great experiences on this show. And of course, the queen of the show that I had, Wino Kawana, all the way from Namibia. So today I was with Namibia and Zimbabwe, and of course, Zambia with Shajek. I am your host, Faith Malambo. And remember, we love you guys. Without you, there's no Real Talk Show. And remember, at the Real Talk Show, it only happens real. So the discussions we've had today remind us that work of shaping a healthy future for your youth is a collective effort. Thank you all for streaming with us. We love you. And this is me, your one and only pretty beautiful Faith Malambo on the Real Talk Show. Join us next week, Friday, same time, same place. Of course, but not with Elliot, somebody else. Bye, guys. Bye-bye. We love you.